Minimize your tummy, no exercise required. Today I'm going to share my best tips and strategies for hiding your tummy with clothes. Hey, this is Netta. Welcome to my channel. My whole goal for this channel is to help you look and feel your best and most beautiful every single day by building a wardrobe that you love. So we're not going to love our clothes if our clothes don't flatter our bodies. Then we feel like they let us down and we feel icky in them and we just don't feel cute. And so I've been talking a lot about flattering your body on this channel, and I have a brand new body type series. So if you have not already signed up for the body type series, it's free. You get a series of a couple of videos that will help you discover what your body's shape is. And my shape system uses colors, not anything like fruit or geometric shapes, because it's completely neutral. You're just assigned a color that corresponds to your body shape, and then you get strategies for making the most of your shape. So definitely check it out. It's at nettamanley.com/bodytype. But regardless of your body type, there are going to be things that we're all going to struggle with. Maybe we are whatever body type, you're a red or an orange or a purple, but you're also plus, or you're also petite, or you also have a belly. So I'm going to be addressing specific size categories or fashion challenges, figure challenges in some of my videos, because, you know, let's face it, we're all more than just a body type. We also have unique features, and we have vertical details that we need to take into account, and then we have features on our bodies that we want to take into account. Maybe those are your arms, maybe it's your bum, maybe it's your thighs. Today we're going to talk about tummies. This is my area. I know a thing or two about this area, and I can't wait to dive into it in today's video. So first of all, let's take a step back and look at the 4 different types of tummies that we may have, because not every tummy is created the same. Not every tummy is the same. And I'm not just talking about size. When we talk about having a full tummy, we want to keep in mind that a full tummy is relative to your body. So I am 5'2", and I wear an extra small. My idea of a full tummy is relative to my body. So my bones are very narrow and small, and so when I have tummy bulge or tummy bloat, it shows up on my body because my frame is so small. You may have a medium-sized frame, you may have a larger frame, you may have a small frame like me, and so tummy bulge is going to show up differently on all of us. So just because my tummy bulge doesn't look like your tummy bulge doesn't mean that I don't have it, or that it's not out of proportion to my body, right? So we're always looking at these features relative to our size. So is your bum big for your size? Is your tummy full for your size? Is your bust bigger for your size? So that's what we're always looking at. You're never going to compare yourself to anyone else. You are unique, so you look at these features in proportion and relative to the rest of your body. Okay, so just wanted to get that out of the way, because I don't want anyone saying, well, you're so slim or you're so small, what do you know about tummy bulge? Trust me, I know, and when it shows on my body, it really shows on my body, and I'm definitely going to be sharing some pictures so that you can see what that looks like. I had lots of comments from people saying, I wouldn't wear that if I had a belly like you, you know? So we all have the same challenges. They just look different on all of us. And so I'm going to share strategies that are going to work whether you've got like a bloated belly like I do, whether you have an apple, more like an apple shaped belly. We're going to talk about all of that. Okay, let's talk about the 4 different types of bellies we may have. Now I found this really good illustration that shows 4 different types of bellies that are common in women. And you know, when you're talking about flattering a belly, we're not all talking about the same thing. You may have a round, like a rounder hard belly. You may have a softer, like lower belly. Like you may just have different types of bellies. And so I wanted to kind of show you what these different types of bellies could look like. The first is the menopause tummy. Sometimes this is called the menopause apron. We know what that looks like because I'm going through it right now. But you know, your waistline straightens out. That does not significantly change your body shape. So like I've always say, don't wait to lose the weight because your body shape will not change. The only thing that may change is that your waistline may straighten out, but it's not going to significantly alter how you dress. But that said, when your waistline straightens out and then you get this menopause apron where you get this lower like pooch of belly fat, so fun, that is the menopause belly. I heard someone call it the menopot. I'm like, oh, that's a very accurate way of putting it. It's not fun. Post-baby tummy, many of us have experienced this, and I'm not just talking about the diastasis recti where you got that separation. I'm talking about just that looseness of the skin and the post-baby belly bulge. Many of us over 40 or over 50, we may have moved past that and are dealing with a different type of belly situation. But if you haven't, if that's still your belly, that's still your belly. Then there's the apple shape. This is often referred to as an apple body type, but it's really characterized by having a roundness through the belly. So your belly is round and often a little bit more firm. It may not be firm, but sometimes it's firm, but it just takes on that roundness, and you do not have the definition in the waistline, which I'm going to get to in a minute. And then the fourth, this is another one that I deal with way more than I'd like to. It's bloating. Bloating due to food, stress, or IBS. I have stress-triggered IBS. I do not have any food triggers. I've done all the tests, but as soon as I get stressed or I get upset, my stomach is a mess. And so I found this picture really, really helpful because you can see the difference. This is me. The beginning of the day, my stomach looks good. By the end of the day, it can be really, really bloated if I'm dealing with IBS symptoms. So that is the fourth type of belly. So recognizing that bloating, whether or not you have IBS, is absolutely going to change the way that your belly looks and feels during the day, and it's a very normal part of life. Everybody gets bloated. Everybody eats something that maybe upsets them, or they get stressed or whatever. That's just a normal part of life. But those are the four types of belly. So next, I want you to ask yourself, after you've identified whether you have one or more of these belly types, I have menopause belly and bloating belly, you want to ask yourself whether you're wasted or not wasted. That sounded bad. That sounded wrong. That's not what I meant. Okay, wasted or not wasted, meaning W-A-I-S-T-E-D. So do you have a waist or do you not have a waist? Are you straight through the waist, or are you defined through the waist? So there are a couple different ways you can be in this. You can have a belly and still have an indentation where your waist goes. You can still go in at the waist. That's me. You can have a belly and have it be straight, or you can have a belly and have it go out so that your waist is actually wider than the area below your rib cage. Your bust. So if you're looking at the space below your bust, is that the smallest part of your torso? Or is your waist smaller than that? Or is your waist wider than that? So you want to ask yourself whether your waist goes in, it goes straight, or it goes out, right? Are you wasted or not wasted? Okay, now let's talk about, because we discussed the wastedness and not wastedness, this is the part where you are the smallest, the part where you have that indentation on your torso, is where the details on your clothes need to hit. So for example, when I talk about a fit and flare dress, or when I talk about a peplum top, or when I talk about a wrap, or when I talk about an empire style, you want that detail that draws a horizontal line across your waist. You want that detail to be wherever your waist is smaller. So if your smallest spot is just below your bust, that's where that horizontal line is going to be. If your smallest spot is at your natural waistline, that's where that line is going to be. If your smallest spot is somewhere in the middle, wherever that is on your torso, that's where you want to draw attention with some of the details that I'm going to be talking about when it comes to dressing your body. Because we're all about minimizing our belly with clothes here. I'm not an exercise expert. I'm a personal stylist, so I'm going to show you how to make your waist look flatter, your tummy look smaller with clothes. Okay. So strategy number one, define your waist. Now, I was just talking about your waist is going to be where you're smallest. That's going to be where your waist is. It doesn't necessarily mean where your body bends, and it is not necessarily in the place that you think it's going to be. So you want to find that smallest spot along your torso, and that's what you're going to define. So now there are a couple ways to do this. You can belt it. The Fashion Fit formula will actually give you a belt width that works for your torso length, which is super, super helpful. But you want a medium to wider belt when you're talking about doing this. Adding a very skinny belt, especially on a straight or wider waistline, can be really a challenge if your belt is really really skinny and your waistline is wider, you're going to emphasize your tummy rather than downplaying it, which is what we're trying to do, right? Now, you want to define your waist. Belting is just one of the ways. Another way of doing it is tucking. I've done a to tuck or not to tuck video. I will share that, and you're going to want to try different strategies for tucking. Now, the tucking strategy that I like the most, it doesn't work with every kind of top. It works better with medium to heavier weight tops, is what I call it's something that was developed by Janet from the Fashion Fit formula, and it's creating a convex arc. So what you're doing basically is you are tucking your shirt in at the sides and having the middle of your shirt go down and cover the tummy pooch area. So that's something to try if you've got a full tummy and you're like, but she keeps saying to tuck and keeps saying to define the waist, but my tummy is full. Try that. It doesn't work every time, but when it works, it's magical. So you're creating that convex, I need to go back to geometry. You're creating that shape by tucking in at the sides. Now, there are other tucks, of course. There's the French tuck, there's the partial tuck, there's a back tuck, there's a sloppy tuck, there's all sorts of front tuck. There's all sorts of different ways to tuck. But you want to experiment so that it works well with where your stomach is at. And that can change from day to day. I know it does on me. Sometimes I'll tuck one way and the next day I'm like, that's not working so well for me today. So try a tuck, try a belt, or try a detail in the top or the dress that highlights your waist. It could be a band, it can be ruching, it can be an empire style. There are a lot of different ways to do that. It can be smocking. Okay, number 2, add an outer layer. This is magical. This works for anybody with any kind of flattery issue. If you add an outer layer, especially a darker outer layer, and you keep the inner, now you can either go monochromatic and have the same color all over, or you can keep the darker color on the outside and the lighter color on the inside. So for example, maybe you wear a white dress and you're wearing a black blazer over the top. Well, that black blazer visually erases the sides of your body, making you look slimmer overall, and definitely whittling your waistline and making your waist and your tummy look smaller. So definitely consider adding that outer layer, especially in a contrasting color. Darker is safer, but even a contrasting color in a lighter color can work. You really want to create that vertical line of color in the middle that makes your body look overall proportionally slimmer. Okay, number 3, keep the tops short. This is going to sound counterintuitive, but long tops and tunics do not cover your tummy. That's not true. They do cover your tummy, but they also make you look bigger overall, and they're not flattering. Also, they're not in style. So what you want to do is you want to find wherever the biggest part of your tummy is, and you want the top to come right below that. Right below that. You want to be able to lift your arm up so that your tummy doesn't show, but you don't want to be able to lift your arm up and not have your kneecaps show. Like, you want it to be just below the roundest part of your belly. Just below the roundest part of your belly. That is going to be the most flattering top length, because it's going to cover your belly, but it's not going to add bulk and weight and shape everywhere all over your body. Okay. Next is to try a small pattern. Patterns are distracting. Patterns are camouflaging. So if you feel like you really need a little extra help in that tummy area, consider a small pattern and in your top or in your dress. No one's gonna see the little lumps and bumps as easily in a patterned piece as they are in something that's a solid color. So it's really a great little camouflager. Number 5 is to try a high-waisted style. Now again, high-waisted is relative. I wear high-waisted and I have a shorter torso, and I used to think I could never wear anything high-waisted. But for me, high-waisted just comes to just to my belly, or maybe just my belly button, or just above my belly button, holds everything in, keeps everything nice and flat and smooth. It might be just a little bit lower than that for you. It might be higher than that for you. That's going to depend on your torso length. And so again, the Fashion Fit formula can help with those vertical proportions. But what you want is to wear your pants or your skirt high enough up so that they hold everything in and create a nice smooth line. You don't even have to tuck. If you feel like you've got a short torso, you don't have to tuck. You can wear the higher waisted pant and then wear a shirt that hits at where you would like your waist to be. Okay, now let's talk about, number 6, sorry. Focus on fabulous bras and underwear. You want, the biggest thing you can do is to differentiate between your bust and your waist. You want there to be space between your bust and your waist. If they all blend together, we're gonna get droopier looking effect, and you're going to get a fuller looking belly area, and you don't want that. So you want to have a bust or a bra measuring session once a year, especially over 40. I recommend once a year. You need to go yearly. You need to have your bust measured. It changes all the time now. Hormonal changes, weight changes, life changes, all the things. Get your bust measured every year. Make sure you've got a bra that's really keeping everything up and where it belongs. You're going to create space below your bust so that your waist looks smaller and your tummy appears slimmer. So that's very important. Then you're going to want everyday shapewear. And by everyday shapewear, I mean just comfortable underwear that has just a little bit of very, very light hold. Just very, very light hold. You are also going to want the next level up of shapewear for those special occasions or those times when you want to pull out all the stops. Now, Honey Love, Shapermint, Spanx, Yummy Tummy, there are a lot of brands that do this very, very well, and they have come a long way in terms of comfort, but they have tummy cinchers, they have waist cinchers, they have waist trainers, they have high-waisted underwear, but you just want something that's just going to kind of create a smooth line and really allow your clothes to fall nicely and neatly over your tummy area. So undergarments are key. They're key for everybody, but they're especially key when we're trying to flatter our tummies. Okay, now let's talk about the best clothes to wear if you have tummy bulge. The first is a fit and flare. Now remember at the beginning of the video I talked about how you need to find whatever your smallest part of your waist is, wherever that is along your torso, even if it's from right under your bust or maybe it's your lower torso just above your hips, wherever that is, that's where the fit and flare needs to start. Now if you're straight through your waist, it can start wherever, and wherever that bend is, but if you've got a smaller part that's higher or a smaller part, wherever that smaller part is, that is where that horizontal line for the fit and flare dress, that's where that line needs to go. If you do that, it is the perfect dress for covering your tummy because it's going to be fitted in the top and then it's going to flare out just above the tummy bulge area and just artfully camouflage it without looking like you're swallowing in fabric and without looking like you're trying to hide anything. It's just a flattering silhouette, especially in a medium to heavier weight fabric. Avoid flimsy fabrics in general, but definitely avoid flimsy fabrics if you have tummy bulge. Okay, next is a wrap dress. A wrap dress is going to do the same thing. It's going to highlight your waist where you want it highlighted, so you want that wrap to happen at that smallest part of your waist, and then it's going to flow out over the belly area. Also, the extra fabric in the wrap that creates a little bit of a drapey and wrap in gathered effect is very, very flattering for concealing a little bit of a tummy bulge area. Okay, smocked waist or elastic waist dress. These are my current favorites. I was shopping with a client recently, and we discovered the Steve Madden dress that has like a wider smocked waist. I have a lot of them. I have one from Veronica M that I like. I have a lot of these dresses right now. I love them. Now these are not the best choice for you if you have an apple shaped belly, but for the other bellies where if your tummy bulge is a little bit lower, or if you do have if you pretty much anyone except for someone with like a really round tummy is going to be really flattered by these smocked waist dresses because they create waist definition, but they don't show any tummy bulge. Like, I find them to be really, really magical. They're really magical. They work amazingly well. Okay, the next thing is a peplum. Now again, the peplum needs to come just above the bulge. It needs to stop. That line needs to be just above where your tummy is the fullest and where it's the widest. That's where it's going to be flattering. If it's cutting across the fullest part of your tummy, you're just amplifying your tummy. You're adding a ruffle across the front of your belly and saying, look at me, look at me, look at me, right? So I've tried on peplums like that, and trust me, they are not your friend. But peplums are coming back a little bit, and so they can be really magical at creating a waistline where you don't have a waistline. So especially those of you who are not waisted, a peplum is a great option. But again, you want to make sure that line, the horizontal line from the peplum, hits right above the belly bulge. Okay, Aline Skirt. Aline Skirt is magical. Aline Skirt is magical, just like a fit and flare dress, but it's like basically an A-line skirt is the bottom part of a fit and flare dress, right? So it's going to fit at the waist, and then it's going to flow out over the tummy bulge. So very, very flattering, especially, again, you're looking for a medium to heavier weight fabric, nothing too flimsy, because that's going to show everything. Okay, also a ruched skirt. Anything ruched skirt or ruched dress or ruched top, anything with ruching and gathering and draping in that area really creates a waistline and it camouflages tummy bulge. It is a miracle. Ruching is a miracle worker. I'm so glad I'm seeing it again, because for a long time I only saw ruching in maternity clothes, and I was like, what happened to ruching for the rest of us? The rest of us need ruching because it really is super, super flattering. So ruching is something that can really define your waist, minimize your tummy. So anytime you see that, something to consider. But you want ruching again in a medium to heavier weight fabric, not ruching in a very, very thin fabric. Because let's just make a blanket statement that super, super thin fabric is never going to be a good thing. Okay. Clothes with built-in shapewear. There are brands now that are adding shapewear to their clothes. Sometimes they're calling it compression fabrics. Like I know Somersault, their bathing suits, a lot of brands have bathing suits with compression fabric built in. T3 swimwear, there's a lot of swimwear brands. You can watch my swimwear video about that, where they've got shapewear built into their bathing suits, which is miraculous. But then you can also look at brands like Absolution at Nordstrom. That is Absolution. Those are jeans and pants that have panels in them that are designed to hold in your belly. So it's magical. You don't have to have extra shapewear. You don't have to add shapewear. You can just put on the pants and it makes your tummy look smaller. So anytime we can find that, that's going to be a great thing. Shift dresses is another fabulous option if you have a little bit of a tummy bulge, but you want to make sure that the shift dress is straight enough through your waist that you're not highlighting or emphasizing a tummy. So, and if it's going to be straight, you want it to be a little bit shorter. So, you know, you want to play with that. You want it to be loose enough that it doesn't show your tummy, but you want it to be tight enough that it's not like you're wearing a shapeless, like, you know, something shapeless. Anyway, you know what I mean, but a shift is really a great option. Show a little bit of leg. I think it's a really flattering silhouette. Okay. Empire with reservation. I recommend this with reservations. You do not want to look pregnant. So you do not want an Empire style that's overly flowy and voluminous. You want an Empire style that just kind of highlights that small sweet spot just below your bust without amplifying anything else. So that's the ideal Empire style for somebody with a fuller belly. Okay. Let's talk about what not to wear. If we got a tummy, I can show you all the things to not wear because I have tried them all on. And sometimes when I'm doing hauls and try on videos, people will point out, oh, that's one of those what not to wear things for someone with a belly. T-shirt dresses. Everyone talks about t-shirt dresses being awesome. T-shirt dresses are awesome if you've got shape in the lower half of your body. If you have a belly bulge, t-shirt dresses can be hard. If they're a little bit boxier and a little bit of a thicker material, they can work. But I find that a t-shirt, like any kind of a thinner, and we talked about thinner fabrics, but any kind of a thinner t-shirt dress that's even at all fitted, all you see is my tummy. All you see is my tummy. So t-shirt dresses with reservations. Look for ones with ruching. Those are going to be a much better option. Bodycon dresses. Again, like I probably didn't have to say that, but if you feel like you got a tummy bulge, you may not want to wear the world's tightest dress that day. If you're going to wear it, you're going to want to wear shapewear, or you're going to want it to be ruched. I wore this Steve Madden two-piece outfit. It's definitely bodycon, but it's got ruching up the side. So, and of course I wore shapewear with it, and it's ruched. So I did two things to make this bodycon look work for me. If I wasn't wearing the shapewear and it wasn't ruched, and I'd eaten a meal right before it, you would have, you know, like just depending on where I was that day, you would have seen it would have been a very, very different look. Okay, you want to avoid paper bag pants. There is no, now pleats, very soft pleats can work on some people because they can actually look like you've just got a little fabric there and not a belly. But in general, you do not want a lot of volume on the front of your body in your tummy area where you already have volume. Like you don't want to add anything there. These are very hard for most people to wear. They only work on women with a straight waist and a flat belly. If you've got a straight waist and a flat belly, you can wear paper bag pants. Otherwise, they are really quite hard to wear. It's the reason they look good on models. A lot of models are straighter in the waist and they have a paper bags. Well, they have a flat belly. Okay, so definitely avoid paper bag style pants. You also want to avoid, if you've got a really full belly, you want to avoid button front pants. You want to avoid button front pants because they will like amplify the tummy area. You're adding detail there where you don't want it to be. You want to keep that area really simple because you've already got shape there. You don't want to point. You don't want to point to your tummy. Look at me. Look at me. Here's my tummy. Okay, thin fitted tees. Back when I was like, I don't know, pre-kids, 35 or so, I had a very, very thin, very pretty pink ruched tee, but the fabric was so thin that if I ate a grape, it showed. Like, and this was pre-kids, pre-menopause, pre-everything. It was never flattering. And I was like, do I really want to have to contort myself in a million, ways and change my diet and stand a certain way and wear multiple pieces of shapewear just so I can wear this t-shirt? Nope. Out it goes. So if you've got pieces like that are super thin, or the fabric is just super revealing, sheer in some way, that might not be your friend. You don't want clothes that require a PhD or require you to become a different person just to put them on. You want clothes that work for you and that are easy to put on and feel good on. That tee had to go because the fabric was too thin and it showed every lump and bump. So thin fitted tees. Now we've seen a lot of like white tees in really thin material that are fitted. I'm sorry, but a white fitted tee in a thinner material is a thing of the past for me. So when I talk about like the Mott & Bow Noble tee, it's a cropped, slightly cropped tee. That means for me it comes right below my belly bulge, and it's also a more substantial material, so it has weight, and so it doesn't cling. It's not thin, so it doesn't show lumps and bumps. It just does everything I want it to do. It's the perfect shape and weight and heft, so that it just lays nicely on me without amplifying my tummy bulge. A thin white tee is the hardest thing to wear if you've got a tummy. You're gonna need shapewear underneath it. And I don't know about you, but I do not wear shapewear underneath my casual clothes like my t-shirts. Okay, last is, I've already touched on it, avoid thin, sheer, overly tight, anything that's really just going to point at your tummy and really highlight it, make it the focus of attention. You want always the focus to be here. Those are all the guidelines and all the tips I share is to keep everybody's focus on you and your beauty and your style and your energy and your personality and your kindness and all the other things, not on any specific part of your body. So whether you're plus size, whether you've got a booty, whether you've got a belly, whether you've got a bust, we don't want those to be the focus. We want us to be the focus. So that's always my goal with all the flattery tips that I share. Again, wherever you're at with your belly, whether you are a smaller person with a belly that sticks out like me, whether you're plus size, whether you have an apple belly or a menopause belly or a stress belly, I hope that these tips help you flatter your unique body and feel more confident every single day in your clothes. Don't forget, if you haven't already signed up for my body type series, I would definitely recommend it, netamanley.com/bodytype. And finally, don't forget to comment and let me know what you thought of these tips. Hit the like button if you like this video and subscribe so we can hang out more often. I'd love to have you back here. Love you guys. I'll see you in the next video.